All right, everyone. Hello. Welcome to your Vinyasa practice. We're going to do some lateral strengthening. So, like, think obliques in the core, the abductors in the side of the hips, and then shoulders, shoulder girdle, because this will be some side plank variation work. So, we will have a nice well-rounded practice, but those will be our areas of focus. I'd like us to start out actually seated. And so go ahead and find that comfortable upright seat. Support your seat with some props. You can sit cross-legged, you can sit on the heel bones, you can sit on a chair. We're just gonna warm up the shoulders a little bit. So we'll take our elbows out wide, see that they're kind of like in line with the shoulder. And you're just gonna move your fingertips down to the floor, and then move your fingertips up towards the ceiling without changing the height of the elbows if you can. So you're finding this rotation through the heads of the shoulders, and see if you can sit back. So try not to lean forward and round through the spine, but rather sit up nice and tall, elongate the spine. And find your breath here. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. All right, so we're going to keep our elbows in line with our shoulders, but stretch the arms, curl your fingers into your palms, but leave your thumb pointing up towards the ceiling like you're head shaking with your arms out really wide. And you're just going to turn your thumbs down and then turn your thumbs up. So still rotating through the heads of the shoulders. Probably starting to feel that burn there. Top of the shoulder head. But also too, when you're rotating thumbs up and down, can you feel a little bit of back muscle turn on? A little bit of lats in that rotation. So you're recruiting the whole shoulder girdle to make this happen. And last 3. Last 2. I know, I'm right there with you. Last 1. Good. And then just go ahead, relax the arms, roll out the shoulders. And roll them the opposite way. Shake out the arms a little bit. Good, good, good. Let's come to hands and knees. You can move that prop off to the side that you were sitting on. So hands and knees, I'm gonna continue with that lateral rotation. We'll take the left fingertips to the side of the head and point that left elbow up towards the ceiling. So you're still in tabletop in your lower body, and that left elbow is going to come down and just gently kiss that opposite forearm. Inhale, open up through the elbow, and then exhale, round. Feel that active stretch through the back. Open and close. 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. And then release that left hand, tabletop. Right fingertips to the side of the head. Open that right elbow towards the ceiling. Deep breath in here, and then exhale, cross the body. Right elbow touches the inner left arm. Inhale, open up. Exhale, cross the body. Give it a little tap. Inhale, open up. Exhale, kind of close it down. And last 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. Good. Let's go ahead and come back into child's pose. Hips to heels, arms stretch forward, relax your forehead down, soften through your elbows. Just let your arms be heavy here. Deep breath into the chest. Feel the lungs expand, the rib cage expand. Exhale, let it all kind of melt Twice more with that breath, that expansive breath. Good. Inhale, pull the body forward, tabletop. So nice strong foundation in your tabletop. Wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Let's go ahead and extend that left leg back. Spin that left foot flat. So you're opening that left hip and left shoulder towards the ceiling. Left arm reaches up. Right toes can kind of swivel behind you like a little kickstand. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Now all you're going to do is lift and lower your left leg. Flex your left toes towards your face. Doesn't matter how high that foot comes off the ground, you're just lifting and lowering that left leg. Feel that outer hip turn on. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leave it lifted. See if you can keep lifting this left leg, but bring the shoulder and the hip to face the floor. Turn those left toes out to the side and then sweep your left leg wide. Left foot plants in line with that right knee, hands underneath the shoulders. Give yourself a little bit of a rock front to back. Front to back, you're just rocking the hips forward, backward. So you're going to see this motion again. Eventually, we're going to work to sweeping that left foot all the way forward to the top of the mat. But we'll do that over time. For right now, we're just going to crawl that left foot forward. And so you're in a low lunge, left foot forward, right foot back. Curl the right toes under, lift the right knee. Press into your hands, drop your hips down, pull the chest forward, deep breath in, deep breath out. From here, hands planted right underneath the shoulders, step that left foot back, high plank. Pause in your high plank, breathe in. And breathing out, press the floor away, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog, breathe out. Down dog, 3 breaths. Let's shift forward, inhale, high plank. Exhale all the way to the belly. Come into Sphinx, elbows underneath the shoulders. And in this variation of Sphinx, hands are wide. So if you look at my hands, they're in the upper outer corners of my mat. My feet are a little bit wider too. Now you can either stay here and just continue pressing the floor away with your elbows, your forearms, and your hands, or you can press into those hands and lift the elbows up so you're straightening out through the arms as long as that feels okay on the low back. If you're coming with me, I'm going to move in and out of this shape. So I'm lifting and lowering my elbows for about 5 more repetitions right here. 5, 4, nice and slow. 3, keeping the shoulders down the back, keeping the pelvis grounded. 2, last 1. Good, and then I'm going to walk as my elbows and forearms come down. I'm going to walk my hands back underneath my shoulders, press up to tabletop, move the hips back to child's pose. 3 breaths in child's pose. Feel that expansive breath through rib cage, through lungs. Let's inhale forward, tabletop, stacking that strong foundation with the wrist underneath shoulders. We'll extend that right leg back behind us. And then we're going to swivel that right foot until it's flat, opening that right hip towards the ceiling, right hand reaching up. So your base here is your left hand, your left knee, left toes can swivel behind you like a little kickstand. We're going to float the right foot off the ground, flex the toes towards the face, and then lower. So you're just lifting and lowering that right leg. Doesn't have to be a huge movement, just getting that outer thigh muscle, the outer hip, the outer glute to fire. Like literally, it might feel like it's on fire. At least mine does. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. And this last time you lift it, keep that right leg lifted, and then right hand underneath the shoulder. You're turning the shoulder and the hip to point down. So you're basically in a half tabletop. See if you can sweep that right foot wide, let it land off of your mat in line with your left knee. And then we'll rock back towards this half child's pose and forward towards tabletop with that right foot stepped off to the side. Good, and then we're just gonna start to practice this range of motion, this motor skill of bringing that right foot forward to the top of the mat. Feet are planted, hands are planted underneath the shoulders, and that right foot's wide. Curl those left toes under, lift that left knee, pause here, allow the hips to sink a little bit deeper, pull the heart forward, press the floor away with the hands, inhale, exhale. So basically that left leg and the body is in high plank. We're going to step the right foot back to meet the rest of the body in high plank. Right foot steps back, high plank, breathe in. Press the floor away, breathe out, lift the hips, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. All right, so we'll inhale and we'll shift forward again to high plank. We'll lower all the way onto the belly and find that Sphinx. Again, elbows underneath the shoulders, but the hands move to that wide position. Feet might widen a little bit. You can stay here, just practicing the integrity of pressing the floor away, the shoulders down the back, the neck nice and long. Or you can lift and lower the elbows with me. We're going to move through 5 rounds of that. So inhaling to lift the elbows, exhale nice and slow, lower. Last 4. Keep that back of the neck long. 3. Keep that breath fluid. 2. Last 1 here. And then elbows and forearms back to the mat. Walk the hands underneath the chest. Press up to either high plank and down dog or tabletop and child's pose. Your choice there with that. We'll take 3 breaths. All right, so if you're in downward facing dog, stay. If you're in child's pose, make your way up to down dog. Pause here, breathe in. Relax your head. Relax your head. Inhale, shift forward, high plank. Listen up here for the change. Exhale, we're rotating to side plank. Right side is our base. So left hip spins up towards the ceiling, left arm reaches. We just did this with the right knee on the mat. So you can always take that variation in a supported side plank with the right knee down or the right knee lifted. Everything's stacking. Now, you're going to see about sweeping that left leg forward and wide, just like you did with the knee down, and then stepping that left foot forward into low lunge at the top of your mat. Pause here for a moment. So go ahead and make your way to low lunge, left foot wide outside of the hands. Find that high plank in the whole body, except for that left leg, and we're going to step it back to high plank now. Shift forward on those toes. Maybe move through chaturanga. Maybe move through up dog. Okay, and then there's always those modifications of skipping a chaturanga up dog and replacing it with tabletop cat cow, resting in child's pose. If you haven't already made your way there, downward facing dog. Do that same thing on the second side. Shift forward, high plank again, rotating to Vashisthasana. Your left side is your base. Your left knee is either lifted and your hip and shoulder are stacked, or your left knee is down on the mat for that supported side plank. Right foot's going to step up halfway and then forward, and you're going to rotate your body to face the floor, winding up in that low lunge / half high plank because your right foot is forward. Get a nice strong pressure in the palms of the hands, press the floor away, and then step back, high plank. Option to move through that chaturanga or any variation of a vinyasa flow. And then once more, finding child's pose or downward facing dog. All right, so moving through that vinyasa, one last time with a few options to add on. We'll start in our down dog. And from our down dog, this time we're going to sweep that left leg high. Bend that left knee, point it towards the ceiling so you're kind of opening up that left hip. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now this time we're going to shift forward into a three-legged high plank, sweeping that left foot wide, and then see if you can land it at the top of the mat in your low lunge. Okay, so however messy or clunky that feels, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's rise up to Trikonasana on this side. Left foot forward, right foot back, Trikonasana, left hand reaching down towards the shin, right arm reaching high. And then I want to give you this fluid experience of Trikonasana. So reverse that with the upper body and the arms. That left arm's reaching towards the ceiling, the torso lifts, the right arm reaches down. Now, you can either tick-tock the body in and out of Trikonasana and reverse Trikonasana, like so, or when you're coming forward to Trikonasana, bending that left knee, reaching that left hand forward, and moving towards half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana, where you're balancing all the weight on that left foot, right leg lifts, left hand can act as a little stabilizer kickstand, and then soft landing back to reverse Trikonasana. Okay, so either in and out of Trikonasana, reverse Trikonasana, or forward to Ardha Chandrasana, reverse Trikonasana. If I'm speaking in tongues, it sounds like Sanskrit. It's either variations of triangle pose or forward to that balancing shape, standing on that left leg. Let's try it twice more. Okay, whatever transition you're making, let it be a little bit less rigid, a little bit more flowy, kind of like you were dancing in the wind or imagining that you were like this tree blowing in the wind. Land back in reverse Trikonasana, both feet planted, left arm reaching up, and then we'll cartwheel the hands forward, plant the palms, wind up in that wide-legged low lunge, step back to high plank. Option to move through Vinyasa here. You can always skip these, they're not necessary each time. It's just an option. Let's find that stillness. Whatever the body needs. The child's pose, it's calling to you, take it. The down dog, it's calling to you, take it. 3 breaths. All right, so if you're in child's pose, let's find that down dog. We're going to move through that second side. In your down dog, relax your head. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. Bend that right knee, open the hip, point that right knee towards the ceiling, press the floor away, stay strong through those hands, that shoulder girdle. We're going to shift forward into 3-legged high plank if you can. And then see about sweeping that right foot wide and forward, forward, forward until you land at the top of the mat with that right foot. Even if you have to set your left knee down to get there, that's totally fine. Pause for a moment in this wide-legged low lunge, kind of mark this position. You know you're coming back to it soon. And then we're going to set up for Trikonasana, second side. So you're spinning that left foot flat, rising up, Trikonasana. That right shin's gonna reach towards the shin bone, or the right hand's gonna reach toward the shin bone, and the left arm's gonna reach high. And so let's flow this a little bit. Reverse your Trikonasana and move back towards. Right hand down, left arm high. And then you can choose maybe to progress towards that balancing Ardha Chandrasana, balancing on the right leg, floating that left leg up and back. Right hand might be like a little whoop, balance and fall out. That's totally fine. See if you can land softly, reverse Trikonasana. And so you're moving your body. You're moving your body through space. Whether it's towards the balance on the right leg, or just stretching the side body. So whatever movement you're making, move between those two shapes twice more. Try not to rush it though. And try not to be so rigid. Can it be a little bit softer? Can it be a little bit more forgiving, even wobbly? Soft landing with that back leg, reverse Trikonasana one last time. And then both hands are gonna sweep forward, plant those palms, wind up in that wide-legged low lunge. Right foot is still forward, left foot is still back. Stepping into high plank one last time. Option to move through a final vinyasa. You know the drill here. Maybe it's child's pose, maybe it's down dog, 3 breaths. So we've done a good job of opening up chest, lengthened and strengthened side body. Let's do a little bit of back bend work. We're going to come to a prone position on our belly. So come forward, belly down. Walk the elbows underneath the shoulders. Dhanurasana bow pose. So in this shape, you can do it one leg at a time. You can do both legs at a time. I'm going to show you the option for one leg at a time. And we're going to do this twice. So once on each side or 2 rounds of it. Start by bending one knee, and the knee that you're bending, reach back with that same hand, catch a hold of the ankle. And then I like to roll my pelvis hips forward, bend the opposite leg knee. If I'm going to do both, catch a hold of that other ankle. So each hand is gripping the outer ankle of that simultaneous foot, right? And then if I have both hands, or if I just have, not both hands, if I have both feet in my ankles, I'm going to kick my feet into my hands so that it'll lift my chest, it'll stretch out the quadricep, and it'll compress my back body. If you're just doing one side at a time, great, but kick that foot into that hand, lift the chest, see if you can square the shoulders forward. Take one more breath here. And then nice and slow release the ankles, stack the hands underneath the forehead, lengthen out on your belly. Pause here, breathe. Okay, second round or second side. So first prop yourself up on your elbows, kind of like you're in Sphinx pose. If you started with the left foot like I did, you'll start by bending the right knee, reach back with the right hand, grab the outer ankle, and then move the shoulder and the chest forward. Maybe you stick with that, one foot at a time, one hand at a time, or you can bend the opposite knee, reach back, grab the outer ankle. So whatever you've got a hold of, kick, kick, kick the feet or the foot into that hand or hands to lift the chest. See if you can keep the shoulders down the back, the neck relatively neutral. You stay with it for one more breath. And then nice and slow, without flinging the body, release that, stacking the hands underneath the forehead. Rest the forehead on the backs of the hands, lying on your belly. Hands underneath the shoulders, press up to tabletop, move the hips back to child's pose, lengthen out through the low back. 3 breath cycles here. All right, so we'll meet up on our back body. We're going to hug our knees into our chest, laying on our back. And just give the back body a little bit of love here, because back bends, like Dhanurasana, really compress the back. So we counter that by just kind of letting it relax. So I'm cupping my hands over my knees, and I'm just drawing circles with my knees. Feels so good on the tissue at the low back and the back of the pelvis. Go the opposite direction. And then give yourself a nice little squeeze. Hug the knees into the chest. You can wrap your hands or your forearms around your shins. You could reach for your opposite wrists or forearms or even elbows. Just compressing yourself into a tight, tight little ball. Breathe into the back body. Feel the length of the tailbone, the length of the spine. Lift the shoulders, the head, reach for the feet, the soles of the feet. Pull the knees wide toward the armpits, and then relax the head, the shoulders back to the mat, coming into happy baby. Maybe press one leg towards straight and then the other. Maybe add a little bit of movement side to side. Head towards Shavasana. We're going to take a 1-minute Shavasana, so start to lengthen out or do anything that you need to do to prepare to lengthen out in your Shavasana. And then I invite you to join me in a seated meditation, because that's what we do this practice for, so that we can sit with ease in our meditation. That's what these physical postures called asana in Sanskrit are for. Deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale. Relax the front body into the back body. Relax the whole body into whatever you're lying on. Just let that sensation of heaviness melt over you. Start to add a little gentle movement to fingers, to toes. Move your head side to side. If you like, you can stretch the arms overhead. Breathe into the length of the body. Give yourself a nice big stretch. And start to make your way to an upright seat. And allow your seat to be supported so that you can sit tall with ease, because that is the point of this, that we can find that easefulness in our upright seat. And it takes time, it takes practice. That's why we open the body in this way with that movement. Sit however is comfortable. Feel your shoulders stack over your hips, your ears stack over your shoulders. Feel the spine grow tall with ease. We're just going to take some time here to rest in stillness in our seated meditation. Eyes fluttering closed, or gazing down at the floor, one single spot. There's no need to control the mind in your meditation. Let it wander. Let the mind do its job. It wanders from topic to topic. It analyzes, it categorizes. That's okay. That's the mind just doing its job. You could almost imagine that thoughts are floating by like clouds float by in the sky without becoming attached to one single thought. Watch it move across your field of vision. And inevitably, your attention will shift to something else without having to attach to that single thought. This is the practice of meditation. We'll close out our practice by joining the hands together at the heart, bowing the chin towards the chest with reverence and gratitude. May you use the fruits to serve your highest good. May you remember to share it with those around you that you love and who could use healing. Together we send love and healing to all sentient beings around the world. May they be happy. May they be free. Namaste. Thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you're feeling good, strong, and balanced in your body. Take care of yourselves. And please come back again soon.